1, 2, 3, 4.
Okay, so I'm going to give you some tips for learning Rock and Roll Train. The opening guitar riff is based on a sequence of power chords, and you can see on the music that the implied chords are written above A5, D5, A5, D5, and then on to G5 in the next bar. It's going to be important with the pick hand to strum exactly the strings that you want for each of these power chords. For example, the opening A5 is 3 strings, the A, the D and the G string played together. And then the next chord, the D5, features 4 strings. So accuracy here with the picking hand will be important. Just going back to that opening A5 then, I think this is best played with the first finger, not 2 separate fingers, but let's just hold 1 finger across the D and the G strings there. And then when we get to the D5, use the first and the third finger for the D5. Another thing that will give you some accuracy in terms of the number of strings that you're sounding is your fretting hand muting technique. For example, when I do that opening A5, I'm wrapping the thumb over the top just to silence the low E, so it won't make a sound if I accidentally catch it with the plectrum. Then on the D5, the underside of the third finger there is just tilting against the high E string, so that if I do strum the high E, we won't hear that either. So this sort of muting at both ends will allow you to strum with a bit more aggression and abandon as you're playing the riff. When we do the G5 in bar 2, the underside of the second finger does the job of silencing the A string, so we can strum all 6, but only hear 5 notes. So really get stuck in and be quite aggressive with your strumming hand. I think it would be wrong to play this carefully. It just wouldn't sound quite right. So really get stuck in. We're also using fretting hand muting to just silence the strings in between the phrases there. And then when we reach the end of line 2, we're going to allow that A chord to ring on. But don't forget to count the beats through that long A. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you're ready to start the verse bang on beat 1. When we do get to the verse at section A, I think it's a good musical thing to just go a little bit quieter here. Still punchy, but a little bit quieter. And again, using fretting hand muting to just silence the strings in between. When we get to the pre-chorus at section B, this is a series of double stops, i.e. 2 notes on adjacent strings played with one pick stroke. I think it's important there to rest the picking hand so you can make use of fine muscle control. We wouldn't want to float the hand because it's a lot harder to be accurate and get those double stops. If we rest it, move from the wrist, we can really get some fine control there. This repeated riff at section B develops into a repeated D5 chord, bar 23. Let's get louder through that chord so that it gets louder and more exciting into the chorus. The chorus riff is a lot like the introduction, but there's more sustain. We're allowing the notes to ring on, and of course we're giving it our full volume. You could probably get away with strumming this all downwards. Or you could copy my strumming directions. I'm alternating the strokes. When you get to the very last A chord, make sure that you stop the strings after that full bar of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, so that it all finishes nice and tight. Rock on.